Well, let's kindly look at 3R, definition of waqf. Waqf means, Your Lordship has that?
Yes.
Waqf means the permanent dedication by any person showing or demonstrating. You Lordship don't have the bearer?
Yes, we got the bearer.
So 3R, waqf means the permanent dedication by any person showing or demonstrating that he is practicing Islam for the last 5 years. Of any movable or immovable property, having ownership of such property, and that there is no contrivance involved in the dedication of such property for any purpose recognized by the Muslim law as pious, religious, or charitable, and includes such and such and such and such. So, Malad, therefore, if I want to set up a waqf or create a waqf, Malad, I'll have to show that I have been practicing Islam for 5 years to the state. Malad, why would I do? It's my property. Why would I have to do that? If I'm born a Muslim, Malad, why would I have to do that? Why should the state be a judge of whether how good a Muslim I am or not?
Personal law will apply.
My personal law will apply to me, Malad, immediately. So, Malad, per se, according to me, Malad, this, and then, Malad, what is that contrivance involved in the...
Given that we have a time constraint, I request you to say what
Check, sound check.
each other.
All right.
Check.
Now,
1,
Malad,
2,
this is...
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Also cut down the time because this is an admission stage hearing. I request everybody not to repeat. Whatever has been said should not be repeated.
Correct. But now I'll tell you, Lordships, what sections I'm challenging. I'm challenging this, Malad, 3R.
Yes.
Then I'm challenging, Malad, this proviso to 3. Proviso to 3. Provided that the existing waqf by user properties registered on or before the commencement of the Waqf Amendment Act as waqf by user will remain as waqf properties, except that the property wholly or in part is in dispute or is a government property.
Which proviso?
This is the proviso. Waqif means, after waqif means,
Page 6 of the compilation.
well, as they have, as your Lordship knows, Malaz, deleted waqf
Yes.
by user.
Yes.
For the past, Malaz, they have maintained it.
Yes, fine.
For the future, they have Malaz. So that's another challenge, that who are you to say that I cannot create a waqf by user? That is my essential faith and practice. So, Malaz, that's the second challenge. And this, every encroacher, Malaz, will have to be, it will be decided. Who will decide that? The dispute mechanism, Malaz. Now kindly come, Malaz, to section 3C. First 3A, Malaz. 3A, 3 capital A, subsection 2. I'll just read it, Malaz, and tell your lordships what the challenge is. Creation of a waqf, halal or olad, shall result in denial of inheritance, shall not denial in denial of inheritance, rights of heirs, including women heirs, of the waqif or any other rights of persons with lawful claims. Well, who is the state to decide that? Under what lawful claim are you talking about? Well, who is the state to tell us as to how the inheritance is going to happen in my religion?
Even under the Hindu Succession Act, the state has enacted the law, tells us how the succession will take place.
In Islam, Malaz, that's not the case, Malaz.
Are you saying that?
That's interference with 26.
Just a question before you answer. The parliament cannot enact any law. Parliament has enacted law with regard to Muslims also. May not be in this to the same extent as case of Hindus, but it has enacted laws. It has enacted laws with regard.
No, I'm not on that, Malaz. Because of 26, I'm sorry, Malaz. I'm on a normal, narrow issue of 20.
26 does not bar the legislature, the parliament, as the case may be, to enact laws.
Subject to morality, public health, and public order. This is nothing to do with that.
But that's never meant, 26 is never meant either, because 26 is universal. It's secular in the sense they applies across all communities.
Yes, correct.
So, Hindu Succession Act, Hindu Guardianship and Maintenance Act, so many acts have been enacted.
I'm not, please, all right, I'll just move on, but I'll just tell your lordships why the challenge. Why the challenge? inheritance in Islam applies after death.
Correct.
They are interfering before that. That's the point. But that's the point only, Mullah. I'm just flagging the point, Mullah, so that there's no
Okay,
time.
fine.
So that's point number 2.
It's the extent of discretion.
Correct. Point number 3, Mullah, kindly see 3C. 3C. In Millard's page 9 of the book that I've given to your lordship.
Yes.
Any government property identified or declared as Waqf property before or after the commencement of this act shall not be deemed to be a Waqf property. Any property, government property identified or declared. So, Millers, if they identify or declare, it shall not be Waqf property. Then, Millers, 2. And I think the whole section is ultra vires. 2. If any question arises, whether any such
Okay, just one. 2 of section.
3C, 3 capital C. Well, it's first 3C1. It's much better to look at that. Page 9 of this book, Mullah. We see 1, may I read, Mullah?
Yes.
It says any government property identified or declared as Waqf property before or after the commencement of this act shall not be deemed to be Waqf property. So, Mullah, they can make a declaration, says this is not Waqf property. Now, see how that is done. If any question arises as to whether any such property is a government property, the state government may by notification designate an officer above the rank of collector, hereinafter referred to as the designated officer, who shall conduct an inquiry as per law and determine whether such property is a government property or not and submit his report to the state government. Provided that such property shall not be treated as Waqf property till the designated officer submits his report.
There's no time limit.
And there's no time limit there. Quite apart from that, Mullahs, quite apart from that, what is that process where the government officer will decide in a dispute between the government and the Waqf that this is government property? You therefore have identified an officer who is part of the government, who will be a judge in his own cause. He is an officer of the government. And he gives a declaration. Identifies and gives a declaration. This is again per se unconstitutional. Provided that such property shall not be treated as Waqf property till the designated officer submits the report.
So the
Yes.
property is on lease, where is the rent?
Uh,
So I'm sorry, I didn't want your lordships to hear this.
yes.
So, Mullah, that's the third challenge. Challenge 4, Mullahs, perhaps even more serious. Declaration of protected monument or protected area as Waqf to be void. Any declaration or notification under this act or under any previous act in respect of Waqf properties shall be void if such property was a protected monument or protected area under the Ancient Monuments Preservation Act, 1904, or the Ancient Monuments or Archaeological Sites and Remains Act, 1958, at the time of such declaration or notification. So all these properties,
Just one. But listen carefully. Last part says, at the time of declaration or notification, at the time when it was declared or notified as a Waqf,
yes,
then that declaration will be void.
yes.
If at the time of such declaration, or
It was a protected monument.
it was a protected.
Correct.
But how many of such cases will be there? Because
Any day, Jama Masjid.
Jama Masjid was a Waqf property but before the.
That's correct. So that is a protected monument also then, Mullah.
I'm just asking this question. On my reading is probably interpretation in your favor.
Oh, I see. I'm quiet then. And I'm quiet, Mullah. I don't want to say anything more.
But that's something you have to listen carefully.
Yes, yes, Mullah. I appreciate it.
What I was saying was, if somebody's been declared a Waqf, before that monument was declared to be an Asian monument covered under the 2004 Act or archaeological monument under the 1958 Act, it will not make any difference. It's a continue to remain one.
That's right. That's our submission was.
Therefore, you really should not be objecting to it, except to the extent that something after it has been declared to be an Asian monument or covered by the archaeological survey, then it cannot now be created into a monument.
Correct. And now it can't be declared to be void. That's all.
Even if it has been declared to be a bust, after the monument was notified or declared to be an Asian monument or archaeological, covered by the Archaeological Act, then that will be void. But most of the monuments, like Jama Masjid, or for that matter, most of the masjid, many of the ancient masjids will be all protected. They will not be hit by this cross.
I'm sorry, I don't have any place. Let's kindly appreciate that. When you go to a mosque, for example, which is part of a protected, take Sambal, part of a protected monument, what happens is the Mutawali,
We have understood your last other side.
so therefore this is now this is 3D, Malas. That's my challenge there. 3E is the fifth challenge, Malas. Bar of declaration of any land in scheduled or tribal area as waqf. Notwithstanding anything contained in this act or any other law for the time being in force, no land belonging to members of scheduled tribes under the provisions of the 5th schedule or the 6th schedule to the Constitution shall be declared or deemed to be waqf property. Now, Malas, I have a chart here where all these Muslims are deemed to be scheduled tribes.
Isn't there a lot of laws across India which says scheduled tribes cannot transfer property except with the permission of the court?
That's all right. But see what the extent of no land belonging to the scheduled tribes shall be declared or deemed to be a waqf property.
Scheduled tribes have always, as far as land laws are concerned, ownership is concerned, they've been always protected. In fact, some of the legislation.
Lordship is right. I'm not. That's right.
Which is the right.
That's non-tribals.
Not to tribal. So a scheduled tribe member, even when they are protected laws like in Maharashtra,
Wait for your turn. Mr. Sipal can answer that.
Correct. So, Malas, therefore, you can transfer it to a scheduled tribe.
Okay, understood.
Not only that, Malas, they shall be declared or deemed to be a waqf property.
Understood.
So, Malas, that's the fifth point. Now, Malas, kindly come to the Central Waqf Council. Malas, your lordships may just note that under the 1995 Act, national experience, maybe non-Muslims, Joint Secretary to Government of India, one member of the Bar Council, provided that 2 members of the board appointed under C shall be women, provided further that 2 of the total members of the board appointed under this section, excluding ex officio, shall be non-Muslims. It's a complete takeover, Malas. It's a complete takeover through nomination. Now, Malas, if your lordship sees the 1995 Act, and I just presently give that to your lordships, the 1995 Act had all Muslims. And a disqualification. Section 16 is disqualifies none. That was, Malas, kindly see the council provision. I just point out the provision, Malas. Council provision was section 9 of the 1995 Act, all Muslims. Your lordship may just take it, it's all Muslims. And the board provision is section 14 of the 1995 Act, which is also all Muslim.
Next point.
And section 16 is a disqualification provision. For all
And from amongst Muslims, then there's a disqualification provision also.
that means non-Muslims are disqualified.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yes.
Now, Malas, the next section, Malas, is Chief Executive. No, let's leave that out.
Chief Executive Officer earlier had to be a Muslim.
All officers have to be Muslims earlier, including the Chief Executive Officer. Now it's not a Muslim. Now kindly come to registration.
Yes.
On and from the commencement of the Waqf Amendment Act, Section 36, Malas.
Yes.
1A, Malas. 36, 1 capital A. On and from the commencement of the Waqf Amendment Act, no waqf shall be created without execution of a waqf deed.
Wrong.
I'm not saying anything wrong, I'm just indicating, Malas. Waqf, kindly see, brothers, you can create a waqf by user. You don't have to have a deed. If it is my property, brothers, as your lordship knows, if it is my property, brothers, I can create a waqf. In the sense, I can allow somebody to say, have a shelter home there. I don't have to register it. It's my property, but supposing, forget about whether I have the Muslim faith or not. Supposing my own property, I want somebody, I have to register.
There's no difficulty in that. You can register the work also because it will help you also have maintain a register of work.
No, that's another matter, but waqf by user is abolished now.
Will that not be beneficial? The question of work by user, you have an issue, we'll ask the others.
Brothers, I'm just saying waqf by user is now abolished. It's an essential part of Muslim law and Muslim faith. And it's recognized by your lordships in paragraph 1134 of the Ram Janambhoomi judgment. The lordship just note that. Para 1134. Which says precisely that.
There is nothing wrong if you permit somebody to use. If you want to dedicate it,
Then you can.
you're dedicating it to Almighty. That is the concept.
That's right.
All that the section says is to avoid uncertainty, so that there is no